Gosh, why I decided to become a coach is a long story. I'll give the short version. I'm actually a psychologist, and I have a master's and a doctorate in psychology. And I started to do therapy. I went through the whole master's and doctoral program while I had all three of my children. So you can imagine some stress there. And then I was doing therapy, but kind of not loving it. And also there was the stress at home. And so I decided to take a break, and I did some corporate training in the meantime. And then when it came time to go back to work, I did not feel connected to therapy, and I felt like I'd lost my clinical skills. So a friend who was also a therapist said, why don't you do this coach training? And it turned out that I loved it far more than I love therapy. I love having an outcome, and therapy was very process heavy, which I think is important, and I believe in it. But coaching made so much more sense to me and a model that I believed in. So that's what led me to it. Yeah. So when I went through the training, I actually didn't really like it at first. A lot of my students have heard this story. I came in with a little arrogance with my psychology background, a little bit of I know everything, and I just was feeling a disconnect. And now I can look back and know that the disconnect was that I actually had to look at myself. As a psychologist, I was spending less time looking at myself and more time diagnosing others. And I didn't want to look at myself. So I was pushing back and pushing back. And so it took until about halfway through the second mod that I started to say, oh, wait, there's something here. I really am getting what this is. I get how powerful this is and how it can change people's lives. One of the most important things of our life is how we get along with others, who is in our life and how we connect with them. And so many people don't have good connections, so they feel lonely and isolated, and that just feeds on itself. So when they start to learn how to understand themselves and change themselves in order to improve their relationships, the joy they feel in life, the experiences they have, accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. So how we do one thing is how we do everything. If we're not getting along with love relationships, we're probably having trouble with relationships at work and relationships elsewhere. So when we start to change one, we start to change them all. And so our life exponentially feels better. A coach training program like ours, like iPEC, is really about being a better human being and knowing more about yourself. In fact, the class that I went through the training with, about a third of them had no plans on being a coach ever. They just wanted awareness and to change their own lives. And so I think there's so much more here than just being a coach, and being a coach is fabulous, but there's more to it. Oh, my favorite part of being a trainer, there's so much. Just to be able to watch, and I'll for sure get emotional, to be able to watch the students change in front of my eyes, it's really a gift I feel very blessed. You see literally faces change, you see the lightness. It's an amazing part of what I do. I'm really lucky to do it.